Seerah Course, Episode 4. For 3 years after he first received revelation, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was commanded to keep his mission private, privy to only a select few from his friends and family. His wife Khadija was the first to accept Islam from among the women. His close friend, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, was the first to accept from among the men, and his cousin Ali bin Abi Talib was the first to accept the message of Islam from among the youth. Prophet Muhammad was commanded to go public with his message at the end of those early 3 years. He climbed up the mountain in front of the Kaaba and began to invite the people of Mecca to Islam. He was immediately faced with rejection, the start of what would be 10 difficult years of torture, hardship, and persecution for him and his companions. Some of the early believers were even murdered at the hands of the Quraysh. Companions such as Sumayya, who was the first to have been martyred in Islam. Revelation during the Meccan period involved establishing the foundations for belief in Allah, the reality of the hereafter, and good character. The focus on this period was to lay the foundations for what was to come after. The most difficult time for Prophet Muhammad was the year when both his wife Khadija and his uncle Abu Talib passed away. The death of 2 of his strongest supporters meant that he was left even more vulnerable to the already difficult situation in Mecca. The absence of his uncle Abu Talib in the background emboldened his enemies to start plotting to kill him. They appointed a strong man from each tribe to participate in the killing, making the revenge of his death an impossible consequence. The plan was to kill him in the depths of the night, but Allah had already revealed their plot to his beloved messenger and ordered him to set out for Medina, bringing an end to the Meccan period and subsequently leading to the start of a new nation in Medina. This was a lesson for the Muslims, that even if the world were to come together to stop the message of Islam from spreading, they would not be able to inflict anything as long as they are under the care and protection of Allah the Almighty. And such was the case, as he protected his beloved messenger, peace be upon him, from the plot of the Quraysh. In Medina, Prophet Muhammad united the new migrants with the residents of the city known as the Ansar. He paired them into a strong bond of brotherhood from which we extract lessons till this day. He also established the constitution for the first Muslim state while entering into treaties with residing Jewish tribes. He brought together warring tribes in unity. Although a time of unity, the Medina period was also a time of war with the Meccans. The first battle was the Battle of Badr in the month of Ramadan between an army of 950 Meccans and 300 Muslims. Despite being heavily outnumbered, the Muslims overwhelmingly defeated the enemy and also captured about 70 prisoners of war. The next few years also included other notable battles such as the Battle of Uhud and the Battle of the Trench, which saw the Muslims defeat an army of 10,000 Meccan and ally soldiers trying to invade Medina. 6 years after migration, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, decided to go back to Mecca to do Umrah, but he was prevented in the outskirts of the city. At that time, he entered into a treaty with the Meccans, famously known as the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. According to the treaty, the Muslims would go back to Medina and return the following year for Hajj. Allah describes this treaty as the Great Opening or the Great Victory. The Meccans ended up violating the treaty within a few years, opening the way for Prophet Muhammad to enter Mecca with an army of 10,000 Muslims in a bloodless conquest of the city of Mecca. The Muslims secretly marched into Mecca to preserve the sanctity of the holy site, and Prophet Muhammad freed all the prisoners who had fought against him. Among those prisoners, more than 2,000 of them voluntarily entered into Islam. Although revelation continued during the Medina period, most of the focus was on details relating to jurisprudence, such as details on how to perform salah, zakah, fasting, marriages and divorces, laws of inheritance,